We are gathered here for a very simple but significant ceremony. Today, I'm actually overjoyed by the fact that we are here to receive a machine that was donated by the RAMS group of companies. This is a CR machine, and later you would hear the details about it, but it's a machine that would have significant use in the orthopedic service and also for other invasive procedures like doing barium studies, etc. We have long wanted a machine like this. We had one in the past, but we had some issues with it, and we are happy that we had a relatively new one that was donated to us. And I believe that the persons in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis and everyone who access health care here would benefit from this. Now, there is one point that I want to make sure makes the news clip, in that we have to understand that health, although most of it is sponsored by the government, we cannot do it alone, and we need the input of the private sector. And ever so often, I get a bit disheartened in that, for example, Carnival will be coming up, and you'll be hearing about the thousands of dollars that will be donated for Carnival. And nobody thinks about the fact that we will be having thousands of persons who will be coming into the Federation and inundating the healthcare system, and we hardly hear about persons making donations to the hospital. So I want to, at this point in time, give the RAMS group of companies a big round of applause, because they have been a company that has not only been involved in healthcare, but sports and all aspects of our society. And so we need to congratulate those who are doing the hard work like this and hope that other companies will follow in their direction. So without any further ado, though, I'm going to call upon Dr. Hendrickson to tell us a bit more about the machine that you see standing behind me. Thank you.
First of all, I would like to say thanks very much to the RAMS company for their donation. It's been a while since we've been trying to get in touch with someone to make that special effort to help us and assist us in some way in what we need here at the hospital. And I would just like to say thanks to you all for your donation. All right. Today we have CR machine. CR machine is actually a mobile CR medical imaging device that is based on X-ray technology and can be used flexible in various OR within a clinic. Today, mobile imaging systems are a very essential part of everyday hospital life. Specialists in fields such as surgery, orthopedics, traumatology, vascular surgery, cardiology use CR for intraoperative imaging. The device provides a high resolution X-ray in real time, thus allowing physicians to monitor progress at any point during the surgery and immediately make any corrections that may be required. Consequently, the treatment results in better and patients recover more quickly. Hospital benefits from cost saving through fewer follow-up operations and minimize installation efforts. Thank you very much.
For many years, the RAMS group of companies and our patriarch, Kishu Chandramani, have been benefactors to the Joseph N. France Hospital. In 1998, the RAMS Eye Clinic was opened and was dedicated to the memory of Kalawanti L. Ramchandani, who together with her husband founded RAMS in St. Kitts in 1935. 80 years and 3 generations later, we're here today with the directors of the RAMS group of companies and the Chandramani family to hand over a mobile C-arm imaging unit to the Joseph N. France Hospital. But last year, 2 ambitious young orthopedic surgeons visited our corporate offices with a problem. In layman terms, I humbly submit the following analogy to describe their problem and my own interpretation. Imagine attempting to join 2 pieces of lumber using nails and screws. Sounds simple enough. Now imagine trying to do just that, but blindfolded. Suddenly, a relatively straightforward procedure becomes not so simple. What are the chances of even a skilled and experienced carpenter being able to quickly align and join these pieces of lumber correctly so that the single piece is fully functional? More than likely, it will have to take several attempts, and even after the skilled carpenter feels the job is complete, chances are that after closer inspection, the two pieces of lumber may have to be separated and the procedure started from the beginning. Now imagine that those two pieces of lumber were human bones. A child's leg that was accidentally broken while playing football, a construction worker who broke his arm while on the job, a simple procedure that would allow that child to once again play football and mend the arm of the construction worker, restoring his ability to earn a living, is suddenly more complicated. The two doctors explained to me that procedures that would take an hour to complete were taking 3, 4, sometimes 5 hours to complete, limiting the number of patients that could be attended to, and hence extending the recovery time of many of those patients. Regrettably, at times, patients would have to undergo follow-up operations that would further delay their recovery and ability to return to a normal life, causing more discomfort, expense, loss of income to the patient as well as to the hospital. Complicated procedures would have to be performed overseas, causing patients to incur expense, debt to cover costs of travel, accommodation, etc. The solution was a mobile C-arm imaging unit, like you see behind me. Specialists in the field of surgery, orthopedics, traumatology, vascular surgery, and cardiology use C-arms for intraoperative imaging. The device provides high-resolution X-ray images in real time, allowing the physician to monitor progress at any point during the operation and immediately make any corrections that may be required. Consequently, the treatment results are better, and patients recover more quickly. The solution was identified, but there was a formidable problem. A new C-arm imaging unit, like you see behind me, has an estimated cost of $175,000 EC dollars. Together, the doctors and ourselves identified a solution that located and acquired a pre-owned and refurbished unit, and with the assistance of the hospital's administration and the Ministry of Finance, we were able to deliver the unit to the hospital at half of the original cost. The unit was delivered to the Joseph N. France Hospital in July of 2015, and from all accounts, it has already begun to successfully serve its intended purpose. I would like to acknowledge Dr. Hendrickson and Dr. Warner, who are here today, and compliment them and other doctors of the Joseph N. France Hospital that have successfully performed their healing procedures and dedicate the C-arm unit to them and all the medical professionals at the JN France Hospital. We hope that our contribution will continue to provide valuable assistance and contribute to the well-being of many of the Federation's patients. In closing, I'd like to refer to one of my favorite learnings from Kishu Chandramani. That is, strive to be part of the solution and not the problem. Today, the Chandramani family and the over 600 employees of the RAMS group of companies can proudly say that with the continued support of our valued customers, we have ensured that Kishu's philanthropic legacy lives on. Thank you.
Today is one of those days that if I wasn't a strong person, I would be almost in tears. And it has to do with the fact that we are here this morning to not just undertake a donation of a philanthropic nature, but at the same time to basically give recognition and positive memory to the person who was behind all of this. And that person is Kishu Chandramani. Kishu Chandramani was one of my bosses at the Chamber of Commerce, and he is somebody for whom I had a lot of respect. I'm tearing up right now because I'm remembering him. And one of the things that I learned, if you can just bear with me, in terms of Kishu, is that he was one of the most humble persons I had ever met. And I remember when he became chamber president, for the second time, because the first time would have been before my time in the 1970s. And he became president around 1999. At the same time, the Chamber of Commerce was about to celebrate its 50th anniversary. And I remember him calling me the day after the AGM. And he said to me, "Wendy, we need to talk." And I said, "Sure, Mr. Kishu. Should I come to you?" He said, No, I come to the chamber. And he came to the Chamber of Commerce, which at that time was located on South Square Street. And he came up the stairs, he came into the office, and he said to me, "I have to be chamber president for 2 years, but I can't be chamber president without you. So here's what's going to happen. When it comes to business, I know business because my aunt taught me business. When it comes to everything else, like speeches, anything I have to say to the press, anything I have to write, you're it." So I said to him, "Well, Mr. Kishu, well, why would you want me to do all of this for you? Because at the end of the day, I'm the one who should be learning at your feet in terms of the success that you have made when it came to transforming Rams into a multifaceted trading company to the point where it essentially is the largest private sector firm on the island." He said, "Well, all of that is well and good. But unfortunately for me, I did not have much education, but nobody had to teach me about how to run a business other than my aunt. So when it comes to everything else, I yield to the professionals where they exist, and I expect them to do their work to make everybody look good." And I remember when that meeting was over, I looked at that guy sitting across my desk, and I said, "Here is somebody, probably one of the single most wealthy individuals in St. Kitts and Nevis, but you couldn't find a more humble person." And I am very grateful that we are here today to honor that type of memory of Kishu. I know that it is something that all of his children and the in-laws, the grandchildren, will carry with them at all times. It started in terms of the health system in a formal way with the eye clinic, which was a significant investment for Rams. The Shandy Ramani family have made other investments in St. Kitts and Nevis, including the Cardin Home, the Children's Home, the St. Vincent de Paul Home that existed for children in the Trafalgar area, and the list goes on. And a lot of their philanthropy we don't really hear a lot about, because you get to the point where you take certain things for granted. But nevertheless, I think this type of significant gesture, especially for the end users, and the technicians who will actually be carrying out the various procedures for the beneficiaries, those are the persons whose health care or restoration of their health will be the type of testimony and memory that will be necessary for us to remember that it is through public sector collaboration, as Dr. Wilkinson said, as we discussed in the previous meeting before this, that is the responsibility for us starting here late this morning, that the future development of St. Kitts and Nevis, and by extension the rest of the region, really rests in public and private sector collaboration. Because the government cannot do it alone, the private sector cannot carry it alone. Citizens of this country who pay taxes cannot be taxed to death. So if we want a better St. Kitts and Nevis, we have to find ways of working together. And I think this gesture with this piece of equipment, the CR machine, is a testimony to that and a step in the right direction.